If you're not feeling a sense of urgency, are you even alive? I feel like that's the message we get a lot. I know I always felt this pressure to go fast, fast, fast. And that's not really my pace, in a lot of ways. So I would often feel like I was failing at going fast. Well, in some ways I can, and in some ways that's really not me. The hyper-focused part of me can learn something really, really fast. Cool. As long as it's interesting. But the part of me that needs transition time needs to be honored too. I also realized that that sense of urgency was coming from a belief that I needed to be somewhere that I wasn't, or someone that I wasn't already. It essentially comes from that insecurity of not being enough. And I know I touch on this a lot, but it's such a pervasive belief that ends up sort of affecting all parts of our life, really, until we bring it to our awareness, until we question it, until we choose something other than that belief. But I think too, also as a neurodivergent person, in some ways I really did develop life at a different pace. There was a disconnection between what I saw the people doing and what I was doing. For me, there wasn't this linear path from school to career to marriage to house to kids. I was more over here going like, what even is reality? If only I could figure this out. Why would I even want to sit at a cubicle behind a computer all day when there are trees and trails and squirrels? There's gotta be another way. But living most of my life up until this last year in the US has a way of crushing the spirit of those who want to divert from the common path. Like, oh, you don't want to get in line? Poverty and shame. So yeah, anyways, over our lives we can internalize that message that we have to hustle to survive, because in a lot of ways it's not a message, it can be reality, that speed is king. You better not relax unless you've earned it or proven that you deserve it. Likely by burning yourself out in a way that shows external success markers. So only burning yourself out in a specific way. This led, at least for me, to feeling really anxious, kind of dreading the day. Because I knew the world that I was familiar with was screaming fast, fast, fast. And now there's AI, so even faster. This anxiety, spurred on by a sense of lack, can bleed into everything. We end up doing relationships fast. We jump in without really getting to know people because we think we found some respite from this hard, cold world. Also because we have less community in general. The relationships we get into get put under a lot of pressure on top of it being fast and the speed. We also try to whip our bodies into shape by summertime. But oh wait, it's already February. Better get on that now. You have to make sure your body is good enough in comparison to someone else. It is a lot. But as I have reclaimed a lot of things, including being self-directed, I realized that choosing slowness on purpose was a way of validating myself right now. I don't have to earn a sense of ease. I get to choose it. I don't have to prove I'm worthy of being here. I already am here. Oh, look at that. So there are 3 key areas where I am really choosing ease and slowness purposefully as a reminder that I am, in fact, enough. More than enough. So first, there's my mornings. I'm experimenting with slow mornings where I get to have my cacao and my snack in bed, do some meditating, and gently enter into the day. It's actually been really nice. I've watched the sunrise. I've let my body wake up at a pace that feels good and natural and less like force and jarring. And I still get into the projects that I want at the time that I want, right? It's still the morning, it's just later in the morning. And what I notice is I actually feel productive in a way because I'm starting to intentionally choose that slowness. And I realize that all these aspects of the morning, like nourishment and mental clarity and movement and peace, are real and valuable things and actually make a big difference. So that's one. But the second one is relationships. I mentioned how we get into relationships really quickly because I also did that. Both friendships and romantic relationships. And as I've probably mentioned in other videos, this led to unhealthy dynamics, pain, losing time, energy, not great things. But now, I've really been willing to walk away at the first time someone goes against what I value. Yes, there is definitely room for and great value in communicating, making sure someone is aware of what I need and desire without making them read my mind, absolutely. But I'm talking both about walking away if something is clearly not okay, like cruelty or prejudice, and actually slowing down enough to see who someone is over time and how they respond or not to what you communicate. And if you are also aligned with what they need and want. It goes both ways. Slowness is about taking the pressure off, not showing up with an agenda, actually getting to know people for who they are, which is important for them too. They deserve to be known for who they are, right? And also, it helps to take this sense of relationship out of the couple supremacy, right? And into a sense of community. You need all sorts of people in your life to have an actual community. You need friends and activity buddies, professional relationships or partnerships, lovers and playmates. You need people whose service you deeply appreciate and who you serve as well. You need neighbors and mentors and acquaintances and maybe even spiritual community. There's so much and so much more that can be included in a web of connection. Slowness actually allows you to be connected, to show up more present and intentionally to the fullness of life. And then finally, fitness. I used to get into workout routines and practices from a place of trying to fix myself as quickly as possibly. Sometimes, sure, it was about the summer. Sometimes it was just a general sense of not enoughness and urgency. I would jump in and then I would get hurt. And then that would put me out for a time. I would also exacerbate the fatigue I was feeling by going too hard or perhaps maybe doing the wrong type of thing. But now I've learned that starting slow, meaning maybe even at like 50% capacity of what I could potentially do or think that I could do, creates sustainability. Like if I haven't worked out for a week, I can go back to a walking workout or 20 minutes of strength training instead of trying like an hour of advanced skills and then not being able to move for the next 2 days. It's not kind to me or my body. And it also doesn't make me want to continue. I found too that intentionally choosing slowness, like building up to where I was or being gracious when I stop, also makes me more gracious in general. Like even how I'm looking at myself. Like looking for what I love about me and my body, not what I think should change. Appreciating and enjoying what I can do, not just thinking about what I should be able to do. I can also see from a larger perspective, like over a decade or a lifetime. This is my body. I want to enjoy being in it, including now, right now, today. And so a lot of that's mental. And I don't want to waste years criticizing myself like I have until I've reached some sort of finish line that may never actually exist, because I have no idea what I will feel like later on, or if I'll ever feel like I've reached a finish line if I don't start by claiming that now, in a sense, by like letting go of the idea of finish lines in general. Like for example, when I was in my early 20s, I lost over 100 pounds in about a year or so. And I remember how I felt about myself didn't change. I was still only focusing on what I felt was wrong and how I just never would measure up. I couldn't even appreciate how huge the change was until about 10 years later. It took a long time because it was in my mind. When your mind is stuck in one way of being, it's not going to magically change just because you've changed something in the outside circumstance. You have to start relaxing a bit. You have to start looking for something different. Letting you be okay now. Letting you have an easeful morning now. Letting you take relationships slowly and conscientiously now. Because you're okay. Because you're building a community. And letting you be enough now. So that's what's helping me. And I'm realizing as I stop feeding into urgency and the not enoughness by how my actions were reinforcing it, my mind does start seeing things differently. Because there's space to do so. And because slow intentionality comes from a new reality, the one where I'm already enough, the one where I'm already valuable and free. So that feels awesome. I've been enjoying this. If that resonates with you, I'd love to hear what you might be choosing some more slowness with, because it's validating that reality that you want right now. I am Lex. Thank you for joining this channel, where we talk about living a self-directed life, all sorts of other interesting things, sovereignty being one of them, self-love, intentionality, building our life, like all of our life, with that in mind. So join me here for more of that, and I'll see you again very soon.